Well, good morning, Facebook and YouTube people. I've already said good morning to my favorite crowd, the KLYN people who have been with us for 15 years. Some of you guys out there have been pretty steady listeners over the years. Oh, yeah, you've hidden behind the radio. Not really hiding, but, you're there. I can't see you. You can't see me. But we know that we have been connected together. And thank you for tuning in. Regular, for those who have regular, those are just finding out about us. We got some great news. We have, something that I had said earlier, and I don't know if I shared this with you, Ernie, or not. I think I did. But we had put in our application. Remember, we're talking a month or so ago about the application we put in front of the FCC for a full power, non-commercial educational license. And then we found out that there were 3 other organizations that applied for the same frequency. There was only one frequency that was open to us, and that's the one that everybody went for. Well, they have a rating system, a point system, and Eastern New Mexico University was number 1. And then we were number 2 with 5 points. I think Eastern New Mexico had 7 points on how the rating system goes, and the other 2 had like 2 points each. So I said, okay, well, I guess we're not going to get it this time around. And I felt God wanted to do something with our radio station and, pump it up a little bit. And then I said, well, okay, well, maybe next time. Got a email 2 days ago. Did I tell you this, Ernie? No, I didn't tell you. Okay, so what happened 2 days ago is I got an email from the organization that charged us to file this application and process $1,000 that, and she said that the Eastern New Mexico had amended their application, which changed them to some other, I don't know, anyway, it changed everything. So guess who went up to first spot? Guess who went up to number 1? So we're going to go, we looks like right now, the way things look, until I get the, what do they call a construction permit in my hand from the FCC, it looks like we'll be able to go full power this year. A little bit of expense, probably about, I don't know, $5,000 to $10,000 of expense to get us to buy the equipment and get people to install it and to go change. Now we'll change. We'll be changing, if this happens, from 95.7 to I believe it's 90.3 is going to be the frequency. That's the one that was open. Anyway, and I know that K-Love is on that right now, but it's just a translator. They're not broadcasting from 93. They're just rebroadcasting. So the FCC, the what?
Does it expand us more?
Yeah, that's going to give us more power, which is going to give us a little bit more reach toward the valley and toward Pascuatros and places like that. But what's going to do is, as much as anything, it's going to give us more penetration in the buildings, adobe houses, steel buildings and stuff like that here in town. That's really what I think could be the bigger effect, because a lot of people say, I can't get you unless I'm just in my car, okay? So, and I understand why, because we're only really about 8 watts of power, and then by the time you figure your line loss, it's radiating at about 3 watts. Anyway, just to let you know, I might need some financial help from some of our listeners out over there. Anyway, we are in the book of Ruth this morning. I want to let you know that prayer line is open. Thank you, Diane, for taking care of that till 8 o'clock this morning at 505-310-9658. Now, for our regular listeners, on Friday that we cut it off just a little bit before 7 instead of a little bit before 7:30. Because that's the goal, is that we usually have Monday through Thursday. We try to finish off about 25, 26, 27 minutes after the hour and close it off for the day like we did yesterday. Today and on Fridays, we also cut it off a little bit early. And I don't remember. Oh, yeah, because of Sunday sermon, because we play Sunday sermon at 7 o'clock. Not only that, at 7 o'clock we have men's, not a women, a men's fellowship here at the church. And we, as Bono would say, we figure out the world's problems. But let's get into our study today, because that's really the reason that we're here. Yesterday, on the second chapter, we did the first, second, and most of the slow down. I get a little excited. I just get a little excited being with you here in the morning. I'm excited about God. I'm excited about His Word. I'm excited about the Holy Spirit. And I'm excited for the opportunity that we have to partner with our God. We do our 1.5%. He does the 98.5, and we just flow with the grace of God. Yesterday, we were introduced in the first and the second chapter to Naomi, to her husband Elimelech, to her two sons. One of them's name was Chilion or Kilion or something like that. It reminds me of chili, red or green. And then we were introduced to the daughters-in-law. Okay, now we know the story. What had happened was that Elimelech and Naomi and their sons had moved over to Moab because there was a drought in the land. So they moved over to Moab, and the husband died, the two sons died, and all it was the ladies that were left over in Moab. And then Naomi, who had come from Bethlehem, heard that that the drought was over, the famine was over in Israel. So she went back to Jerusalem and told the two daughter-in-laws, go back to your families. You know, there ain't much. I ain't got much to offer you except a lot of pain back in Israel. And there was a particular reason why. You know, the way they treated women, number one. If you didn't have a husband, you didn't have, anyway. One of them decided they were going to stay, and guess who it was? It was Ruth. And we're in the book of Ruth, okay? So you kind of figure out that she's the heroine here, and along with it. Then in chapter 2, we were introduced to Boaz. And Boaz was a man of means, and probably an older man. This guy wasn't just some spring chicken. This guy was an older man, but he was a very wealthy man. And Naomi was related to Boaz, and Ruth had gone to glean the fields and find so that they could have something to eat. And they didn't have enough money for how you call down to the restaurant and say, hey, can you get us a little bit of them nachos that they didn't have enough money to. So Ruth goes out and Ruth begins to glean the fields. And Boaz notices her, and he asks his workers, who is this woman? Oh, that's Naomi's daughter-in-law, and you've heard the story. Everybody, yeah. And they say, man, she's a working girl. She's been coming every day. She's been showing up, and she just takes a break for lunch, and she keeps on going, and she's doing, she's gone. And Boaz, approaches her and says, hey, Verse 8 says, Boaz said to Ruth, you will listen, my daughter, will you not? Do not go glean to another field, no go from here, but stay close by my young women. So what Boaz is doing there, realizing that she's related by marriage to his relative Naomi, even though that she's from Moab, Boaz is extending kindness to her. It's probably like Ernie said, didn't you say yesterday the gleam in his eye or something? Or was that me that said about the gleam in his eye? Huh? He was okay. Well, let's keep it clean. It's a family show, okay? So, anyway, he was checking her out. He had a twinkle in his eye, and she had a little twinkle in it. There's some type of chemistry maybe going on over here, and you're going to find out that it's not that far when we get down into it. But Boaz tells her, you don't have to go looking at other fields. We'll make it a little easy on you. And Boaz tells her, do not go to glean in another field or go from here. And what Boaz is doing is taking the responsibility for Naomi, his relative, and Naomi's daughter-in-law. So he's going to instruct the workers number one, he's going to tell the male workers, his servants, leave her alone. Don't be messing with her. Then he's going to tell the women servants who are out there harvesting the field, because it was the time of the barley harvest, and he's going to tell them, be sure that you drop a little bit extra. We're not going to just give her. And to me, this is an important part. We're not going to just give it to you. We're just, very easily, Boaz could have filled up a bag of barley, given it to her, and say, go home and take a nap. No. This wasn't welfare. This wasn't, he says, to the young women, throw a little bit extra. Don't clean up the threshing floor as clean as you usually do, and let Ruth come in. And she would come in every day. She'd get some barley, and they were feeding Naomi and Ruth, and they were existing, And maybe there was even enough left over for Ruth and Naomi to go out and sell a little bit, pay the rent. Because remember, they came back from Moab with nothing, just a bad reputation, In fact, wasn't it Naomi saying, don't call me Naomi when I got back to Jerusalem? She's telling, don't call me Naomi anymore. Call me Mara, which means bitter. God's really been, I don't know what I did, but whatever I did. God had a plan. God had a plan. God had a purpose. And it's a short book. It's only 4 chapters. And I want to tell you, Boaz did not just give her. And do you think Boaz could have pulled out a few shekels and said, okay, you guys go? No. Boaz says, give her a little, make it a little bit easier on her. And I can see Ruth going back every day, getting there probably early in the morning, taking a break for lunch, and then going back out. But Ruth has been instructed by Boaz, you can eat off of the table that my servants are. You can drink off of the pitcher of water, iced tea, lemonade, whatever's out over there. You can, we're going to make it a little easy on you. But at the same time, she had to work for it. You have to work for it. But eyes were on her at the same time. And I believe this is one thing. And Joshua brought this out at the beginning of his teaching last night. And I was so appreciative of something that he said. And it's a point that I want to. I believe that Boaz was looking at the character of Ruth. Is she a real worker? Is she, here we have this issue today that we talk about a lot, entitlement. People are entitled to everything. Ruth could have looked at him and said, well, can't you see, how about Naomi? No. She went out and worked. And it's almost, and this is me kind of expanding the story a little bit, I know. But I have a feeling that Boaz was looking at the character of Ruth. It wasn't just the gleam in his eye. It wasn't just the little sparkle in his eye, but he wanted to know what kind of a chick was this Ruth. He knew who Naomi was, his relative. They probably went to high school together. They probably graduated from, 2-year colleges, community college together and stuff like that. And they were related, close relations, Boaz and Naomi. And then Ruth comes into the picture. But I have an idea that old Boaz was looking at her and saying, okay, what kind of a woman is this? She's pretty. She's young, But who is she on the inside? Let me tell you what. Character is extremely important in the kingdom. You can be gifted. You can have, you can have the gift. But God wants character. That's where the fruit of the Spirit goes along with the gifts of the Spirit.
What's your heart?
You better believe it. It's your heart. It's your motives. It's the why. Then Boaz said to Ruth, You will listen, my daughter, will you not? Do not go to glean another field. Let your eyes be on the field which they reap. Go after them. Have I not commanded the young men not to touch you? And when you're thirsty, go to the vessels and drink what the young men have drawn. So she fell on her face, bowed down to the ground, and said to him, Why have I found favor in your eyes, that you should take notice of me, since I am a foreigner? And Boaz answered and said, It has been fully reported to me, all that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband. See, Boaz knew that she could have stayed in Moab. Boaz knew that she could have just abandoned Naomi. Naomi would have been hitchhiking all the way back from Moab on her own. Who knows what would have happened? But Ruth stayed with her to encourage her, to prop her up, and the other girl stayed behind. The other daughter-in-law stayed behind, but this one didn't. She fell on her face, bowed down to the ground, said, Why have I found favor in your eyes? Boaz answered, It has been fully reported to me, all that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, and how you have left your father, your mother, the land of your birth. You have come to a people whom you did not know before. You came to a strange land. Who knew what was waiting for you on this strange land? But you came anyway. So character, he's a smart man. Not only he's got a lot of money, but he's got a lot of brains to go along with it. And I'm telling you, young men, any of you younger guys out over there, just don't be caught up just with a pretty face. You look beyond that. And man, there's a lot of pretty girls out there that have good character. But you're not going to find them in the bar. Okay, you're not going to find them at the parties on Friday and Saturday nights, doing some things that you know that they shouldn't be doing. Check out the heart. Don't look at just the outside. Look at the inside.
Looking at church
and God. Oh yeah, you might find them at church. Is my way where you find them. That might where you find them is they're at church. So Boaz answered, It has been fully reported to me all that you have done to your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, how you have left your father, your mother, the land of your birth, and have come to a people whom you did not know before. Verse 12, and this is where we left off yesterday, I believe. Let me double check if that's where we left off. Yeah, verse 12. The Lord repay your work, and a full reward be given to you by Yahweh, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come for refuge. See, you didn't come for Boaz to take care of you. You didn't come for Naomi to take care of you. You didn't come for Judah's Medicaid, Medicare, welfare system. You came under the wings of Yahweh, the Lord God Almighty. 1 moment and 30 minutes after the hour. I need thee, I need thee, I need thee every hour. And at the bottom of the hour, too. Prayer line open for another hour and a half at 505-310-9658. You got a need that you need somebody to help you pray for? Call the number. You have a testimony of something God's done in your life, and you want to, get out there and let people know what's going on in your life. That's a great way of doing it. But we won't put it on the radio. Don't start, shying away from that. Anyway, weather report. Partly cloudy today, isolated showers, high around 53, north wind 8 to 13 miles per hour with a 20% chance of precipitation. Tonight, we also have a 20% chance of rain and snow. Saturday, also a 20% chance of snow showers with partly cloudy skies, high around 38 degrees, and east-northeast wind at 13. And then on Sunday, mostly sunny, high around 48, north-northwest wind at 10 miles per hour. And that is your updated weather forecast. We've already talked about our prayer line and reminding you that we have services at 6:30 this evening here at 2207 7th Street. At what time? Yep, you're right, 6:30 in the evening. Now, verse 12. That's okay. Here, the Lord repay your work, and a full reward be given to you by Yahweh God of Israel, or Jehovah, under whose wings you have come for refuge. So he's getting a word of wisdom over here. He's understanding, that this woman has made, she's risked something. There's somewhat of a sacrifice that is in her life by adhering to her mother-in-law. But at the same time, Ruth had the hope. She saw something. I'm going to go over there. I like their God better than these false gods over here. I like if everybody's like Naomi, I want to be, if everybody's with Elimelech, my father-in-law, like my husband was with this God that they have. And she says, I got to go find out what it's all about. And she took a risk, and she left Moab. And Boaz knows that. He says, you've come under the wings of Yahweh. You just haven't come under the wings of a government, not just under the wings of a religious system, not just under the wings of a financial prosperous country, which now, after the drought and after the famine, it was starting to come back a little bit better. He says, you come for the right reason. You come for Yahweh. That's where it all starts. You seek first, and this is what Ruth is doing. She's seeking first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And the other things, where you're going to stay, what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, God says, I take care of that. You take care of my business, I'll take care of your business. She's got the character. The character is starting to show. Then she said, let me find favor in your sight, my Lord, for you have comforted me and have spoken kindly to your maidservant, though I am not like one of your maidservants. She said, I'm not even an employee of you. I'm not even, but thank you the way that you talk to me. You talk to me like if I had been working for you for 10 years. Let me find favor in your sight, my Lord, for you have comforted me, have spoken kindly to your maidservant, though I am not like one of your maidservants. There's a lot of humility in that statement. I'm not even of Israel, but you're treating me like I am a daughter of Abraham. Now Boaz said to her at mealtime, come here and eat of the bread, and dip your piece in the bread of vinegar. He said, listen, there's fajitas out over here. Why don't you come and have a little bit? A little bit of salsa, a little bit of guacamole there. Have a little bit. So she sat beside the reapers. He passed parched grain to her, and she ate and was satisfied and kept some back. Now, let's cover another point. We're looking at the character of Boaz also. There's a little bit of cautious, attitude in him here, and he's there's character on both sides, both on the Boaz and the Ruth side, and they're going to come together. They're going to be married. That's where we're headed with this story. Boaz said to her at mealtime, come here and eat of the bread. Dip your piece of bread in the vinegar. She sat beside the reapers. He passed parched grain to her. She ate and was satisfied, and kept some back. Why did she keep some back? Anybody know why she kept some back? The parched grain, they go over there, they toast up the grain a little bit and make it tasty, and she ate, was satisfied, and kept some back because she was going to take parched grain back to Naomi. She does not forget Naomi. And when she rose to glean, Boaz commanded his young man, saying, let her glean even among the sheaves, and do not reproach her. See, the gleaning was supposed to be just in the corners. See, that's why it's above and beyond what Boaz is doing here. Boaz had a Mosaic covenant responsibility to let people come into the corner of his fields. That was the law. But he's going beyond the law. This is grace now. He says, let her glean even among the sheaves, and do not reproach her. Maybe the message is going to embellish that a little bit. When she got up to go back to work, Boaz ordered his servants, let her glean where there's still plenty of grain on the ground. Make it easy for her. He says, we're gonna help these people out. Well, who is she? You could, it's very easy for one of the servants, maybe one of his managers to come. Well, these people are taking money out of our pocket, and we're gonna be so many bushels short this year because you're giving it away, and we're not going to make as much money as we normally make. Oh, don't you worry, brother. Don't you worry. You take care of God's people. God takes care of you. Now we're getting into tithes and offerings. This is just an offering that he's giving. He's going into the area of grace. This isn't just, well, I gave her the corn. If that's not good enough for her, let her go find another field. Let her glean even among the sheaves. Do not reproach her. Also let grain from the bundles fall purposely for her. He says, by accident, wink, wink, we're going to let a little bit fall on the floor. By accident, a bag fell. And we're going to use this as an opportunity to take care of these people. Yeah, there was something bigger going on. We understand that. But more important than that, it's that their lives were starting to connect. Michelle, how you doing this morning? Darlene, Debbie, thank you for hanging with us this morning. See, the women get this. Women love these stories. This is like the Lifetime channel. This type of stuff. Also let grain fall from the bundles purposely for her. Leave it that she may glean, and do not rebuke her. I can see her man coming home with big old bags of grain and taking them and them eating and Naomi saying, okay, the rest of it I'll take it out while you go get some more tomorrow. I'll take it out and we'll sell a little bit of this stuff. The Bible doesn't say that it happened that way. That's the way. So she gleaned in the field until evening and beat out what she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. So I don't know what an ephah is. Let's say it's a bushel, okay? Could you see her coming back from the fields with this big old bag on her back, and she just pull in this thing, or she says, man, I got to find a cart with wheels on it, man. This thing keeps on getting bigger every day. Oh, yeah. She gleaned in the field until evening, beat out what she had gleaned. It was about, see, when it beat it out means that she'd taken all the impurities out of it. All the straw had been pushed away, and all it was just the grain itself, an ephah of barley. And there was Naomi with her little food truck, her little food stand, selling a little bag of snacks. Then she took it up and went into the city. Her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, so she brought out and gave to her what she had kept back after she had been satisfied. She brought out and gave to her. She took it up, went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned. So she brought out and gave to her what she had kept back after she had been satisfied. So there they are saying, okay, I'm full. What are we going to do with the extra? Her mother-in-law said to her, where have you gleaned today? I think Naomi knew what kind of something was going on over here. But she says, well, where'd you get all this stuff? That's you're coming back like if you got a full-time job, like if somebody's brought you on No. Where have you gleaned today, and where did you work? Blessed be the one who took notice of you. Girl, there's a I don't know if you know this, Ruth, or not, but there's a blessing. This is a lot more. This is exceedingly abundantly above. See, because Boaz is going to be the kinsman redeemer. That's an important term there, kinsman redeemer. Where have you gleaned today? Where did you work? Blessed be the one who took notice of you. So she told her mother-in-law with whom she had worked and said, the man's name with whom I work today is Boaz. Oh, yeah, I went to high school with him, man. Yep. He's my brother's cousins. Yeah, I don't know how they were related exactly, but they're related. Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, "Blessed be he of the Lord Yahweh, who has not forsaken his kindness to the living and the dead." Now, let's look a little bit at Naomi. Naomi said, "Don't call me Naomi, call me Mara. God has dealt with me bitterly. Fortunes are starting to change around a little bit." Now Naomi has a little sparkle in her eye. And she says, "My God, God is blessing me. Maybe I don't want to be called bitterness anymore. Maybe I'm going to start signing, Naomi on the bottom of the page instead of Naomi Mara, wife of Elimelech. But he's dead. And I've been by myself. And it wouldn't be for Ruth, I don't know what would be happening. But God hasn't been, no. Oh. Blessed be he of the Lord, who has not forsaken his kindness to the living and the dead. And Naomi said to her, "This man is a relation of ours, one of our close relatives." And all of a sudden, the story, a bigger picture starts coming a little bit clearer. It starts appearing in Naomi's heart. It says, "This guy's a relation of ours, one of our close relatives." Ruth the Moabitess said, "He also said to me, 'Shall stay close by my young men until they have finished all my harvest.'" A lot of grace be given to Naomi and Ruth. And Naomi doesn't know the full story because she's not in the field every day, but she's seeing the fruit of what's going on. She says, "Well, this is not the regular way that we get treated. This is grace, girl. Remember, all Boaz needed to do to fulfill the law was let them have the corners where there wasn't much. The water didn't get into the corners. The fertilizer didn't get into the corners. It's kind of skinny little slim pickings over there. But Ruth isn't going to the corners anymore." I didn't say the coroner, okay? I said the corners of the field. It's not about death. See, this God has not forsaken his kindness to the living and to the dead. Ruth said, "He also said to me, 'Shall stay close by my young men until they have finished my harvest.' And Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, 'It is good, my daughter, that you go out with his young women, and that people do not meet you in any other field.'" He said, you pay attention to that Boaz guy. You do what he tells you to do. "It is good, my daughter, that you go out with his young women, and that people do not meet you in any other field." He says, all of a sudden I think Naomi's saying, "I don't want any of the other guys to see you. Because I think Boaz has seen you already." With that little sparkle in his eye. So she stayed close by the young women of Boaz to clean until the end of the barley harvest and wheat harvest, because the wheat harvest came right after barley. And she dwelt with her mother-in-law. Hey, things are going good. Then, verse 1, chapter 3, book of Ruth. Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, shall I not seek security for you that it may be well with you?" Okay. So here's what I see going on. Ruth has been, Naomi could be, this is her thinking. Now Ruth has been taking care of me. Now it's my turn to take care of Ruth. "My daughter, shall I not seek security for you?" What kind of, women are always looking. Men, please, dudes, listen to me. Women are looking for security. Men are looking for challenge. Men are always looking at the next mountain, the next whatever it is, challenge in life. I want to provide more for my family. I want to do that. Oh, yeah, okay, good. That's what men like doing, the challenge, the next thing. Women, they're just looking for security. It's not always that it's a bigger house. It's that they know that the payments are going to be made all the time. That's their security, and that things are going to be okay for their children. And Naomi says, I want to seek security for you. We want to have, some foundation that we can work off of for the rest of our lives, and especially your life. Ruth isn't looking so much at herself as she's looking at her daughter-in-law. And notice how she calls her here, my daughter. She doesn't say, well, you're my daughter-in-law. No, you're my daughter. We're connected now. Shall I not seek security for you, that it may be well with you now, Boaz, whose young women you were with? Is he not our relative? She's starting to see the big picture. In fact, he is winnowing barley tonight at the threshing floor. Therefore, wash yourself, anoint yourself, put on your best garment, go down to the threshing floor, but do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. So he says, you know what? This guy is showing you a lot of grace. Let's test this thing out. Let's see. I have a theory, and let's think, and I think I got a word from the Holy Spirit, but let's test it out. Tonight they're going to be winnowing the barley, separating the chaff from the grain, out there at the threshing floor. Therefore, go take a bath. Go put on some of that Chanel No. 5, or however they pronounce it. And make sure that you put some underarm deodorant on, and put your Sunday clothes on. Go over there with that nice colored little skirt that you have, and go look in your best. Let's see if my theory is going to prove out or not. Therefore, wash yourself, anoint yourself, put on your best garment, go down to the threshing floor, but do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. Naomi's an experienced girl. She knows how this stuff works. She says, just kind of hang around and just, there everybody's working, but don't let him know that you're around until he's got a big smile on his face and he's rubbing his tummy saying, oh, wow, this was a good night. Because the threshing was not just the winnowing part, and the threshing part was not just a work time. It was a celebration time. Do not make yourself known to the man till he's finished eating and drinking. Then it shall be when he lies down that you shall notice the place where he lies. You shall go in, uncover his feet, lie down, and he will tell you what to do. So, this is the way this thing works here in Judah. Okay, they go out over there, they do their work, but they have some celebration with it. It's kind of like, maybe there's all the guys get together in a family, and they all get out there and split wood, block it, split it. They all get together. They all, this is for their family, and get a lot of it done. But 3 guys are better than 2, and 5 guys are better than 3, and everybody gets together, and the women are cooking, and they have a good old time afterwards saying, yep, now we got enough wood for the rest of the year. Well, now they got enough barley for the rest of the year. And we got, and now, hey, when he lies down, after he has finished eating and drinking, and then it shall be when he lies down that you shall notice the place where he lies. And you will go in, uncover his feet, and lie down, and he will tell you what you should do. And this is almost a proposal here. If he tells you, and she said to her, all that you say to me, I will do. Looking at her character, Well, I think that's a bad idea, but what if? What if he says this? And what if? We don't live in the land of what if as believers. We do not live in the land of what if. We live in the land of promise, and by faith we have the revealed will of God in our lives, and we put our faith not in our own selves, not in money, not in government, not in doctors. We put our faith in God and the promises that he has given us. All that you say to me, I will do. That's her deposit. That's that faith. So she went down to the threshing floor, did according to all that her mother-in-law instructed her. After Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was cheerful, he went down to lie At the end of the heap of grain, she came softly, uncovered his feet, and lay down. Before you go to sleep, before you pass out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right, Ernie. Uh-oh. Now it happens. So she does exactly what Naomi had told her to do. You know, I know how this works. He's going to lay down. He's going to go. You go uncover. Just uncover his feet. I don't, know the, significance behind the scene after that. But, 2 and 2 still makes 4. After Boaz had eaten and drunk, his heart was cheerful. Lie down at the end of the heap of grain. She came softly. Now she does what Naomi said. You reveal yourself. You uncover his feet. And then you just lay down there. Now it happened at midnight that the man was startled, and turned to himself, and there a woman was lying at his feet. And he said, "Who are you?" So she answered, "I am Ruth, your maidservant. Take your maidservant under your wing, for you are a close relative." And it's almost like Ruth is saying, hello, Las Vegas. Now I'm available. And I know you're available. And you've been kind to me. And you've noticed that I've been kind to Naomi. And I think there's something going on here, and I want to find out what's going on. So who are you? He says, I'm Ruth. Take your maidservant under your wing, for you were a close relative. Then he said, Blessed are you of the Lord. This is where Boaz says, Ooh la la, am I dreaming? He's probably pinching himself and say, dude, this young woman is telling this old man, we might have a future together. He's been very graceful to these people. You have to, that don't forget the grace aspect of this. Blessed are you of the Lord, my daughter, for you have shown more kindness at the end than at the beginning, that you did not go after the young men, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, do not fear. I will do for you all that you request, for all the people in my town know that you are a virtuous woman. Now it is true I am a close relative. However, we got a problem. Been checking out her character, loves what he sees. He's seen that she could have gone kind of, walking around with, one part of her dress, the shoulders on one side showing a little bit to the young guys or to the guys with a little bit of money. Now she's been taking care of Naomi, going out and gleaning during the harvest. He said, you have shown more kindness at the end than at the beginning. You showed a lot of kindness at the beginning. Now you're showing more kindness at the end. Because the big picture is we're going to take care of each other, but we're going to take care of Mom at the same time. Because she's not bitter. The bitterness that she thought God was dealing with her in her life. He says, do not fear. I will do all that you request. For all the people in my town know that you are a virtuous woman. You want to know what a virtuous woman is? Go, I believe, to the last proverb. Pretty sure it's the last proverb. It could be the proverb. We have a little exercise that we like encouraging people about Proverbs to read a proverb a day. Today's the 21st. You would read Proverb 21, tomorrow 22, and then when it comes around to the beginning of the month, you'd start all over again. Just as part of your feeding program for your spirit man. Get a lot of wisdom, you do that. Now it is true that I am a close relative. However, there is a relative closer than I. Stay this night, and in the morning it shall be, if he will perform the duty of a close relative for you, good, let him do it. But if he does not want to perform the duty for you, I will perform the duty for you. As the Lord lives, lie down till morning. So here's the plan. He says, yep, I'd like to do, but we got a problem. We'll find out more about the problem, and we'll find out more about the solution on Monday's program at 10 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock.